It occurred to me recently, after years of living through this, that there's a social problem that most Norwegians are completely unaware of having happened right under your eyes. And I think it's one of the first things in my I'm not a specialist in the erosion of democracies and societies, but I think it's one of the first or biggest things that happens as a society begins to have a lower and lower quality of life. And that is the erosion or degradation of academia and the decline of research funding for the development of new knowledge in a society. I'm not going to go into all of the details here because I'm trying to keep to shorter videos, but these are things that I fled academia in America as a university professor. I don't think many people over here understand that I was a university professor, not just a teacher. And I'm seeing the same things happen here. So let's just put it in context. The reason I had to leave my entire career as an academic, which many of y'all know I had to do, is because for pretty much the first time that I had ever seen, I'd been applying for academic jobs here since 2012. For about the first time I ever saw, there were basically just no jobs in academia. And that came after a shift in the education minister. I believe the Center Party got control of the education and knowledge development ministry. And that happened before I moved here and people were worried. And by the time I got in here, Norwegian academia famously likes to hire from within. American academia does not. So I'm thinking, I come over here, I get a position, I'll get a job in that department. It's really hard to get into new departments because even as a very accomplished academic, they're going to hire the inside candidate if there is one, and there always is one. Yeah, anyway, that's neither here nor there. But by the time I left my position in 2024, there were fewer jobs than I'd ever seen before. And for the first time, I don't know if you guys know this, for the first time in the history of Norway as a country, academics are getting laid off. Permittert. Like, that's unheard of. It's never happened in your country's history. And it's going to lead to brain drains. Like, people are not coming to study here because we can't bring them in. So that's like the main thing I want to tell you about is like, this has just gone like silent and like really not covered by the media. And I really don't think your average citizen really thinks a lot about how academic financing works. And so I realized after living this struggle for so many years here as an immigrant, maybe I have a unique opportunity to sort of tell the public in Norway that this is really a travesty and it's really an ongoing hollowing out of all the good research happening here. To give you just a quick version of what's happening, instead of bringing in dollars to universities through research, that is good ideas, innovations, inventions, smart thinking, now universities are saying, or the powers that be are saying, we want money coming in through what we call in America butts in seats, students. And that probably sounds pretty reasonable, but this is what led to American universities, including ones that I've known and worked with, they never have any money because they can't get enough students. Then they recruit increasingly unqualified students just to pay the light bills. Those students drop out or have debt they can't pay back, which is horrible and unethical. And the cycle continues. You're just like trying to pay tomorrow's bills by getting 10 extra students today. At the same time that this is now happening in Norway and struck fear into my heart because I know this is a model doomed to fail because I lived it. I watched universities close. Now they're also saying increasingly that universities are getting less money for those butts in seats. So really what you have is this very insidious cutting away at funding from both areas, and it's really sneaky. They're saying like, oh, just get more students, but they're also cutting student funding. So the end result is that there's no money. And I believe it's my, maybe don't share this value, but like when we start not investing in the knowledge base of our society as a country, we really start losing the best talent in that country. Yeah, and I just think most people don't know this is happening. One reason I've heard this could be so is that the Forskerforening, the Union for Research, has basically like kind of given up on this issue and just let it go. And they're probably the people that could have publicized this and made the media aware of it, called for strikes or something like that. And for reasons that I'm unclear about, They really just haven't taken up this cause. They've sort of let it happen, as far as I understand. So yeah, just something I've been thinking about lately as like something that I uniquely have the ability to maybe share with you or like get the message out and get people caring about it.